Hey everybody, so we are on part 14 of What's on the Shelf, and on this particular in this particular cubby we have Star Trek Panic, Ghost Stories, Seven Wonders, and Kitchen Rush. So Star Trek Panic, like I said, we kind of went a little bit Trekky in my household. We watched the original series of Star Trek, and then ever since I've been trying to build a Star Trek collection of games. So Star Trek Panic joined the collection a little while ago. So it's kind of based on the same game as Castle Panic. And with that one is you got the castle in the middle and you got the monsters coming closer and closer to the castle. If they've reached a castle, then they cause damage, and the goal is to defeat all the monsters before you lose all of your towers. So with the Star Trek Panic, there's a lot of different things to it, because with Star Trek Panic, the goal of the game is to accomplish, I believe it's 5 different missions. So each time you play, you'll flip a mission card, and it'll require for you to do different things or to assign different cards to it, and so on. So you have your force field around the Enterprise, and then if those get damaged, then the force field is down, and then it'll start damaging the Enterprise. And if you get too much damage with the Enterprise, you cannot maneuver it anymore. And so on. So the interesting thing with this one is that the Enterprise pivots. So you can turn it around and face different directions and to do different things. It's really neat to look at the table when you add, because if the Enterprise breaks, you kind of add a little piece of cardboard that has fires coming out of it. So it shows that it has damage. So the first time that it takes a hit, you'll put the little kind of flame attack thing, and then if it gets hit again, then you take that off and you put the damage portion of the Enterprise, so it can look pretty beat up towards the end of the game. So this one was definitely a neat one. It's kind of a neat spin on the Castle Panic, kind of adds a little bit more to it. So there's and it can be tough, right, to kind of accomplish all the different missions, and then too, depending on the mission that you get, you have so many turns to accomplish it. So keeps it tricky and fun though. So this is of course a cooperative game, and everybody works together trying to complete these missions and get the Enterprise to safety. The next game I have on this cubby is Ghost Stories. So this is another cooperative game. This one is a tough one. I've never won it. I've played it a few times. I have my one friend Allison, where we play all the horror themed games together. So that's my main horror theme player, and we've played this one a couple of times. So in the middle you have a 3x3 grid that represents different parts of the village. The village is being haunted, and you are trying to keep things under control, sends the ghost away before it's overrun. So each player plays on one side of the board, and then you'll kind of activate a ghost movement every round, and they'll get kind of closer and closer to being in the village. Everybody's got a spot inside the village where they're going for, and in each building in the village will kind of give you the ability to do something different as well. The table presence on this one is super neat. If you're playing with less than the 4 players, you still kind of put the sideboards on it, but there's no player controlling it, so they would not trigger a ghost coming in, but the ghost would still kind of have the movement. You have the dice to roll to try to banish the ghosts, and so it's been very very interesting one. It's neat to look at, but like I said, it's a tough one to beat. And then the first time we were playing it wrong, so we were having way too many ghosts move and pop up that we were supposed to. So we died quickly that first time we played. But this one is a very interesting one. It's a neat one to play. Next game I have on that cubby is Seven Wonders. This one's kind of cool because it's not a lot of games where it's not a party game that'll accommodate up to 7 players. I've played Seven Wonders Duel before this one with my brother, which was fine, but that's a 2-player game. So Seven Wonders is a card drafting game. So you get your cards, you kind of select what you want to add to your board, and then they pass on to the next player, and so on. So some of the cards will give you resources that you can utilize into acquiring other cards. If you don't have a resource that you need, but the person to your left or to your right does, you can give them a coin for utilizing their resource along with yours to acquire the cards that you have. Some of the things you can do is build the 7 Wonders. You've got 3 levels on your card as well, and the higher you go, the more points you get. There's some set collection where some of the stuff like military, the higher the military you have, number of military cards that you have, because at the end of each round, you technically battle the people to your right and to your left. So if you have a bigger military, you would gain military points each round for that. It's a neat game. It looks cool, and all the different cards that you can tally up, and the points you get at the end. So that one was fun. I've played this one on Tabletopia once as well, and it worked. But yeah, of course, I much prefer playing with the actual game on the table. The next game that I have in that cubby is called Kitchen Rush. This was a game that my friend Brandy gave to me. This one is a cooperative real-time game. So basically you're running a kitchen and you gotta take the orders, cook the food, prep the meals, deliver the plates, completed plates back to the table, and then kind of collect the money from your patrons. You know what? Let me see who that is. So that was a phone call to set up a physio appointment, and I'm already 7 minutes into this video, so I figured we're just gonna pause here, keep going, instead of redoing the whole thing. So as I was saying with Kitchen Rush, so you got all these different things you need to do. The very interesting thing with it too, it's a worker placement, but your workers are sand timers. Because if you're going to be cooking your meals, it's going to take a certain amount of time to do. So you put your sand timer to cook the meal, and you have to wait until it's done before you can send that worker to go do something else. There's a lot going on to this one because as you see, the little cardboard pieces that have the different numerical Roman numeral numbers on it, those are the size of the plates that you can cook. And depending on what you're cooking and what was ordered, the size of plate that you need to have. Then there's a pantry that has the vegetables that you're going to need. So when you cook, you need to make sure that you send a worker into the pantry to grab the vegetables that you need. And if you ever run out of the ingredients that you need, then you have to send that worker to the market to go grab some new ingredients, and then that's going to cost money as well. And then while you're cooking, not only do you need the ingredients, but you're going to need the seasoning. Does it need salt, pepper? And those are little cubes that you would add to it. And then depending on what you're cooking, how long it's going to take. So you have each your player board, that's kind of your cooking. So you place the plate with the ingredients on the first level, and maybe has to cook for 2 levels, or maybe it's a more intricate meal and it's going to need to cook for 3 levels, and you have your different orders, and then you kind of shift them because it takes, you know, a worker to move it from one level to another. And then if at the end of that particular round all the meals are prepared properly and they're cooked at the right level, then you can deliver the food to the people, and then you'll get paid for those. That's a neat one. It's definitely a hectic one when you're playing it, but it was really cool, very thematic. It looks like that was it for that cubby. So if you want to follow me on Facebook, my Facebook page is Didsbury and Area is playing out the game, or I'm on Instagram as boardgame mama. Okay, great, everybody. Thanks for watching the video.